So, hello everyone, welcome to today's class. Today is our fifth week. So, for those who are saying fourth now, today is fifth week from my check. Next week will be sixth week, and then the following week is a reading week. So take note. Hey, I can hear baby professor here. Who is that? Let me check. Okay, all right. So, as usual, the course is social work research and program evaluation. And today we are going to look at research evaluation and designs pattern. Mostly what we are going to look at is single system research design. We have part one and part two. The part one is single system research design, and part two is group research design. But let's look at what we have today by way of agenda. We have community news as usual, where you have to ask any question that you want me to clarify or respond, or if you have any news that I want to share with the group that will benefit us in a way. It could be anything. You can feel free to do that. Then right from that, we will do class and activity where I will divide you into groups and then ask you to download a worksheet and then respond to the questions on the worksheet. You come back for after the discussion, then we'll do another group activity, and then I will just do a brief, run through the content for today. So to start, I'll ask, is there any question with regard to the assignment? I believe last week we discussed the assignment, right? Did we discuss the assignment last week? Yeah.
Yeah, we
Any
did.
other any question, comment?
Yes,
Okay, go.
yes. I just want to ask you, Dr. Radimi, about the deadline. It will be February 12th for the
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
thanks.
February 12th. Yeah, absolutely. That will be next week, right? So take note. Any other question, comments? Any information that you want to share with us? Okay. Do you all also have group for the second assignment? Do you all have group?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. If you all have done, everything is cool around me. All right. Let's start with an activity. I'm going to divide you into 4 groups. And let me check. When you go to, I think I've posted the worksheet on Brightspace. So when you go there, you see, give me 1 minute. Yeah, Brightspace is here. When you go there, go to week 5. You see I have group 1 up to 4 worksheet. I will divide it into groups. Any group that you fall under, you will use this, group. So for example, I want to divide into group. When you fall under group 1, you are going to use group 1 worksheet. If you fall under group 2, you are going to use group 2 worksheet. And if you fall under group 4, the same. Then you review the worksheet carefully and respond to the questions. Show your work. Indicate whatever you do. If it is graph, do the graph and everything so that you can present at the end of the discussion. Are we good? Are we okay? Any question or comment
Is
in
it
regards to that?
individual or is it group activity?
As a group, I'll divide it into 4.
Okay.
So if you are in group 1, use the worksheet group 1. If if you fall under group 2, the same, and vice versa. Are we good? Okay,
Thanks, yes.
wonderful. So let me divide you into groups. What's that? Okay, stop sharing this one. I will divide you into groups. Okay. So the cards. I'll create 4 groups. All right. Okay.
So
I've created the groups. Kindly join your group. Okay.
Prof, I can't see any group on my screen.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I can't find
Okay.
any. Okay, I see it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. $50 minutes. So say 20, 45, 7, 45. Hmm. Two.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, we are waiting for a few people to join us. Okay, good. All right, so let's start with group one. Share your slides and show us what you did. Oh, share your whatever information you have. Maybe you didn't do it on slides, so anything that you did, show us and then explain. Okay. What are group one members? Oh, okay. Oh, you did manually? Oh, okay. Okay. So,
So for
who
my
is
group
okay?
with presenting,
Okay.
I'm the one who took all the notes, but my baby is super fussy right now, so I might not be able to present it.
Okay.
Can one of you reach out to me in like Messenger or something, and I can send you a screenshot of my notes? Yeah, just like in Gmail chat or something.
Okay, once they are preparing group two, can you?
Dr. Demi, I'm in group one, but my microphone seems to be not working properly. So I'm not sure if somebody else from group one can speak, but
Yeah, we can hear you now, though. Let's start with group two so that group one will, prepare to come. Group two, can you start?
Hi, Professor.
Hello.
Okay, so we were unable to make a chart because we were all struggling with Excel, and we didn't draw one either. So I'm just going to share. Do you want
Okay.
do you want me to read out like our little case study thing?
Okay. Tell me
Okay.
what the work is about, and then how did you approach uh, that work? Did you?
Okay.
Are you the one who did the manual something? Somebody, group four, the batch chat. This one is group four. I can see something in the chat. Okay, go ahead, Nicole.
The following reported burglaries in Sault Marie neighborhood. The mayor introduced security policies that include neighborhood watchdog and community policing starting in January 2024. Then we have the above table,
Mm-hmm.
and the table goes from January to December.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, what the graph told us about the
Mm-hmm.
mayor's policies overall is
Mm-hmm.
that they seem to be effective. We saw
Okay.
a pretty drastic incline um, after March to December,
Mm-hmm.
which tells us I think the policy is pretty effective.
Okay.
So
So
then,
which you have various questions to respond. So which question is that? Is it question A, B, C, D, or 1, 2, 3? Or...
so that's number two, question two.
Okay, the
So,
first question is what?
what does the graph tell us about the mayor's policies?
Okay, okay, okay. All right.
Yeah, so
Okay.
just
Okay.
overall consensus is that is effective.
It's effective. Okay, perfect.
And then for number three, what are some of the key observations that we made?
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the beginning of the year where the burglaries were the highest
Mm-hmm.
um, was basically the beginning of the program. So I
Mm-hmm.
guess it was working its kinks out, and then we saw that drastic incline.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Another observation we made was over time, robbers realized that there are new policies and surveillance in place, which could have also led to the decline
Mm-hmm.
in burglaries.
Mm-hmm.
And then another observation, uh, people are scared of dogs. So that could have
Okay.
really contributed to it as well. And
Okay.
that January, the numbers were high. March, there were the highest numbers, and then there was the
Okay.
steady decline after that.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then four, show the trend of the burglary cases and comment on
Mm-hmm.
the trend demonstrates burglaries have overall decreased over the year.
Okay. So what difficulty did you have with the Excel? Or most of you don't know how to use Excel?
Is
that the
no,
case?
I don't think any
Yeah,
of
I
us
was trying to
did
figure it
very
out
well.
on YouTube, but it was taking too long.
Okay. So then it means you have to learn how to use the Excel to draw the graphs, okay?
Apparently,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
So yeah. So that's good. All right. Group 1, are you ready? Or we should go to group 3?
For group 1, so I think we're confused now. I don't know if we went to the right place. So it's like it's activity 1 and then table 1 burglary cases within Sault Ste. Marie. Is that
Yeah, exactly.
okay? So we also weren't able to do number 1 because we also didn't know Excel. But for number 2, what does the graph show? Well, its highest burglary rates were November, December, and we thought that corresponded with like the holiday season and maybe higher valuables being in houses. And then our recommendation to the mayor, depending on like the population these burglaries were targeting, is like kind of using a community initiative approach, kind of to watch over each other and like, you know, stay alert. And then some comments, observations we made about the graph was in January, February, March, it was the lowest cases, and we just thought maybe weather permitting was a contribution to that.
Okay.
Yeah, that was about it.
Okay. So that's good. That's good. Group 3, do you want to share with us what you have?
Can I share my screen?
Sure, you can. Okay.
Can you see it?
Good.
Although it's not Excel, it's a graph.
Okay.
So this is burglary cases within Sault Ste. Marie in 2024.
Okay.
I just want to say your graph is beautiful. Good job.
Yeah.
What was the next question? Sorry, guys. What would you recommend to the mayor of Timmins? So for recommendations, we have increased police presence, community meetings, or community watch, education surrounding burglaries and how to add protective factors. Next one was comments or observations you can make about the graph. So there was a lot of speculation about why it was so increased in certain areas and the gradual increase. So maybe perhaps that people travel during the February months, which opens up their home to burglary. Perhaps the cold weather, organized crime. Maybe the reasoning would be during the holiday seasons, increase due to probable financial instability, and could have to do with government income like EI. And what was the next one? Show the trend of burglary cases. Okay, so the trend, there's a gradual increase from March to
So you didn't
December.
You didn't do the trend analysis. You should have shown that using the graph to show the trend.
Is
You
that
don't
with
know
like
how, you don't
the
know how to do it.
lines?
Yes, the one that
Oh
showed
dear.
something like that.
Okay. Well, I mean,
Oh,
visually, you can kind of
okay.
see the
Yeah,
trend.
we did this.
There's a pretty
We
big
did
one.
this. You can see the trend.
Okay. All right. So, okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, any other questions? Yeah, go ahead. Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Okay.
group 4, let's see what you have.
Hi, I'm presenting for group 4.
Okay.
Do I have to read the question?
Yeah, if you have do you have something to show with us? Show to us. Is this, your screen or whatever?
Okay, just give me a second. Let me find it.
Our
Okay, the
graph is in the
question.
chat.
Oh, your graph is the group 4, right?
Yes.
The chart, okay.
Yeah, it's the one
Oh,
that's
you
been drawn.
did it manually.
Yeah, none of us could figure out Excel. I spent some time trying to figure it out. I couldn't do it. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, me
Okay.
neither. Techie,
okay.
not techie.
We'll give it a try, right? Right after this, we'll just give it a try.
So the question for House Group 4,
Yeah.
it says, following the reported burglaries in Brampton's neighborhood, the mayor introduced security policies that include a neighborhood watchdog and community policy starting in January 2024. The above table presents data collected from January to December 2024. Study the table carefully and respond to the following question. So the first question was, in a group of 4 to 5, represent the above bulk data graphically using a bar or an
Okay.
Excel. Okay, so we have a couple of people that was good in Excel, including myself, but for me personally, it was a little bit too fast-paced, so I did not attempt to do the Excel. But our lovely teammate, I'm not sure her name is, she did put it in the chat.
Okay.
The
It was Elena.
Thank you. And so the answer to number 1 is the graph tells us that the watchdog community policing only seems to be working in the warmer months. The colder months have higher reports of burglaries. This can be assumed that it is due to people staying indoors and less on watch, air quotes. It also shows that it's increased at the end of the year. Perhaps this is due to people getting lazier or forgetful. Could also be due to feeling desperate in the holidays. The graph shows a steady increase. The burglaries could also be occurring in colder months due to people being away on vacation or visiting family. And that was number 2. I mean, sorry. Yes, that was number 2. Okay. And number 3, what are some of the key observations that you make? Key observation is the lowest months being in May, 5 months after it started, and then sharp increase in June, September, and December. And it could also be due to time change, longer days. Maybe people are feeling impulsive near the beginning of the year. And number 4, what show the trend of burglary cases and comment on it. We have trend is that higher burglaries in the colder months, less in warmer months, and this show that it is unstable.
Okay.
And number 5, what is the effectiveness of the mayor's policy? It does not seem to be effective. Cases continue to increase higher by the end of the year for various reasons and may need to not rely on other people. I'm seeing a 6. Okay, yeah. So 6 was present the graph to use class. So yeah, that's it for us.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So this is a typical case of what we call a single system research design, where you observe certain things for repeated times, and then you introduce an intervention and see what will be the outcome after the introduction of the intervention. Is that all right? So this is an example of a single system research design. I mean, it's part of program evaluation. And I mean, the way you came up with an idea. That is all about research. Research is to look at the situation and assign reasons. That are very educated reason or educated guesses, all right? And so on and so forth. So absolutely, I like the idea. Any question for me? Any question?
From our group?
Yeah, oh no, from, everybody.
Okay,
Anyone?
I don't have any question at the moment.
Okay, all right. No question. Group 1, do you have any question? Group 2, group 3, group 4, quick. No.
No, sir.
So now, do you have a question? It seems you want to ask something.
No, sir. Just say no.
Oh, okay. All right. So then let's move to the next segment. The next, what's that? What is it? Okay. Oh, is that? No, I have some activity for you. The next one. Oh, I skipped that. What is the graph? Give me 1 minute.
Are you done?
Come, give me.
Okay, you're done.
Sorry. Um, let me stop sharing and get this one clear.
Maria, your mic is on.
Oh, sorry.
Mm. Oh, okay. All right. So I think what I'll do is that I'll take the advantage to go through the slides quickly. And towards the end, I want to assign 5 slides to each group. And out of the 5 slides that I will assign to you, I want you to develop a minimum of 5 questions, either multiple choice or true or false, right? Out of the slides. But let's quickly go through the slides briefly, and then if there's time for us to do that, we can. If not, I think we'll do that maybe next week. Is that okay? Are we good?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So as I mentioned earlier, today we are looking at single system research design, and I mentioned it's one of the key evaluation program that is, process that is done in order to get a better picture or to understand how intervention works or do not work. As the name suggests, single system design, you take a single issue and you observe it over a period of time, right? Consistently over a period of time. It is also called an interrupted time series. The reason being that you observe it over a time, then you introduce an intervention which interrupts it. So that's why it is called an interrupted time series. It involves assessing a factor repeatedly over time and under standard condition. Then you deliberately introduce new something or an intervention to see how the issue will continue or it will stop. So it's normally, it's been used for most of human service evaluation for the past 50 years, and it continued to, yield a very positive outcome. People consider it even more preferable to the group research design, which we'll look at next week. It's a little bit technical, so I have to go through the slides. Other than that, I will ask you to just go and review it yourself. Normally, it's mostly because of how it involves collecting numerical data. So it is mostly associated with quantitative research. But that does not mean you cannot use quantitative research also to, qualitative research to do it. As we all know, we can quantify qualitative data and so on and so forth. As I mentioned, the name, they has different names: interrupted time series, research design, single case experimental design, idiographic research design, and so on and so forth. So why do we conduct single system research design? One, it is preferred method, which provides significant advantage over the group one. I mentioned that earlier on. And although sometimes difficult to categorize, single system research designs are mostly quantitative. right, due to the collection of the numerical data, as I mentioned earlier on. So in conducting single system research design, there are prerequisite conditions that you should take into consideration. So what are some of these issues? One, select a practical and valid outcome measure that can be repeatedly assessed over time. So in our case, what we did, the example that we did, what was the outcome measure? What you just did. The exercise that you did, what was the outcome measure? What did you assess? What did the table assess? Anyone?
The burglaries?
Yeah, burglary cases, right? So that's what you assess. So you take an outcome measure and you assess it over a period of time. Is there any question? Dana? Do you need a clarification or something? Not yet? Okay. So assess this outcome measure over time, display result on graph. So what you did for, I think only one group was able to do, and then probably I will take time one of these days to show you how to do the graph. It's very easy, okay? You just put the figures horizontal, maybe the frequency horizontal, and then you highlight it, and then go to the top, and then whatever graph that you want, you just click on it. It's easy, something to do, okay? So we will try it, hopefully, next time. So when you collect the data over time, you display the data graphically. It can be histogram, it can be bar chart, as you did. It can even be pie chart, right? So when it's pie chart, what is pie chart, for example? Pie chart, the pie chart. Yes, Shona?
It's percentages, usually.
Pie chart?
Yes. So it would be a circle, and usually it'd be 100% of something, and then each section would be a certain percentage of that 360 or whatever it is, but it's 100%.
What is the circumference of a circle?
365?
360. Right?
360. Okay.
360. So pie chart, we use it in degrees, not percentage. Right. Is that okay?
Okay.
It's in degrees. So basically, yes. What happened is that, let me give you an example. If you represent something in a pie chart, assuming the total number of the cases, let's say, okay, let me use 100 to be easy. 100, right? 100. Total number of cases. And then out of the 100, maybe 5, you want to present it by 5. The first group, let's say, got 20, right? The second group got 10. The third group got 5. Another group got, let's say, 40. So that it will sum up to 100. Is that okay? If you want to represent it in a pie chart, what you do is that you take the mark got by the group over the total, which is the 100, times 360. Is that okay?
Yes, I think you picked a very wrong number to try to dispute my 100%.
Yeah. Okay. No, the 100% mostly is for bar charts.
Really?
Yeah,
I never understood it like that.
Yeah, bar chart is normally 100%. But because pie chart is circumference, the circumference of a circle is 360, right? So it's so you use degrees, which is 360. So but bar chart is just 100% proportion, and so on and so forth. So that's that. Make reasonable inferences, right? So you ask, are the data showing client improvement? So, for example, the case of the burglary cases, it was happening in the year 1, and then the mayor introduced some policies. So after the policies, you want to ask certain questions. Did the mayor policy cause any improvement or resulted in any improvement? So group B will tell you, or group 2 will tell you yes, because there was decline in the burglary cases. Is that right? Are the data demonstrating client deterioration? I think group 3 or so mentioned that the mayor's policy was not working. So this is an example of deterioration. Okay, are we good? Are we good?
Yes, thanks.
Okay, then do the data depict no change? So it can happen that when the policy was introduced, there was no any change. Is that okay? The situation remained the same. So meaning that when you introduce an intervention, there are possible outcomes. One, the intervention can result in improvement, or the intervention can worsen the scenario, or the intervention can remain the same. Is that all right? These are possible outcomes that you can get. Okay. Okay. So how do you select outcome measure, meaning the thing that you are going to observe for a period of time? One cardinal principle is that whatever you are going to observe should be reliable. So the reliability is very important. Consistency, easy together, right? The information should be easy together. So when you are talking about burglary cases, where do you get this information? You can get the information from maybe the police, or you can get the information from Statistics Canada also, right? So it's something that is easy to together, and it must be sensitive to change, right? It should be something that when you introduce an intervention, right, there should be a reaction, either negative or positive. That one is not the case, but there should be a reaction after the introduction of, for example, intervention. So identify the agency's mission to clarify what outcome measure to be selected. So if you are doing an evaluation, right, you have to first of all look at the agency's mission. What do they want to achieve? So if I'm using the example that we did, meaning to reduce the burglary cases, that's the objective, right? To reduce the burglary cases. That is the objective. So based on the objective, you can then use to measure the outcome. Use the best measurable measures available with the most empirical support subject to cost constraints. So sometimes the measure that you use to observe or assess the issue may be costly but effective. And sometimes you may not have, for example, the funds to be able to implement or use the most costly measure. What do? You use the best available, right? And you cannot use, for example, that as an excuse because you don't have money, you do anything. No, at least use the best available measure that you can think of that can yield a better resource. Assessing measure over time. There are 4 variations. 1, repeated assessment of some measures without any intervention. So that is what they did for the first year. The whole year, in the case of burglary cases, they observe the burglary cases for the whole year without any intervention. Is that right? That's first one that you can do. Then the second one is repeated assessment of some measures at the same time intervention begin. So you are assessing the measure, or you are assessing the outcome measure, but at the same time you are also introducing, for example, intervention. So that is another variation that you can do. The third variation is repeat assessment of some measure before an intervention begins. So, for example, what we did, the whole year, they measure the burglary cases without intervention, and then the second year, the group 2, the mayor introduced some interventions, right? As an example. And then the fourth one, which is the last variation that you can have, is repeated assessment of some measures before and after interventions. So here, for example, I want to assess how textbook can improve student performance. Is that okay? So what I'll do first of all is when I go to the school, I'll examine the student and then know their scores, right? And know what do they get as a score. Then I'll provide textbook to them, teach them for a period of time, and then conduct another exams to assess their performance. So if I assess their performance and this time around they do better than before, then I can say or I can assume that the provision of the textbook might have improved the performance of the students. Are we good, Jessica? Is it okay, Michelle? Okay.
Yes, we're good.
Okay, good. So that's in single system research design, we have what we call notations and general principle. So, for example, we have designations for various designs. So, for example, when you see A, capital A, it denotes baseline, right? Baseline. So, baseline simply means gather the data in the absence of intervention. So, for example, I want to assess, I'm using the same example that I gave. I want to assess the effect of textbook on student performance. I went to the class. The first thing I did was to examine the students to get their scores. So that score would give me the baseline. Is that okay? That score will give me the baseline. Then I will give them textbook, right? And ask them to learn and teach them. And assess them again, maybe after 6 months, 3 months, or whatever. If there's an improvement in their grade, right? I'll say, oh, the textbook is having some positive outcome. But it can happen that some of the students may even get poor grade. Is that okay? Lower than what I took before I gave them the book. So what the first is, assessment is what we call the baseline. Then B, it denotes design phase, which means data gathered when particular intervention is implemented. So the first exam I conducted before I gave them the textbook is the baseline, is A. The second exam I conducted after I've given the textbook for a period of time is called B. Are we good? Michelle, is it good? Okay, perfect. Then C can be another intervention. C can be another intervention, indicating different intervention. So let me give you a typical example. I went there, I did assessment, right? I have my baseline. I gave them textbook, right? And then after 6 months or 3 months, I examined them. And I saw some of the student grades have improved. Some of the grades have improved. Then I want to say, okay, now let me add another intervention. So, okay, let me give them lunch. Is that okay? Let me give them lunch. So lunch can be another intervention. But in giving them the lunch, I can take the textbook back, meaning I've removed the initial intervention and introduced new intervention. Or I can add new intervention to the old intervention. It depends on what I want to see. Are we good? Okay, so that's it. So AB, meaning baseline followed by intervention. So who can explain this one? ABA. ABA. Or is it anyone? Yes. Sonnet.
So what I'm looking at, I think A is the initial one, right?
Okay.
Initial
Yes.
intervention.
So
So
how
then
do
you're
we call
gonna
the initial intervention? No. Initial assessment.
that is it's called the initial assessment.
Yeah. What name do we give it to? It.
I don't know.
That's
Okay.
baseline.
Base, okay. I thought
Uh-huh.
because I see it right there already, just something else. So okay.
Okay. Yes.
So you have the baseline, which is A,
Yeah.
right? Then you
Yes.
take away A, you put B. That's what I'm thinking, right? A
No.
minus.
No. And then B is that you introduce intervention,
B is
right?
the one that introduced to A, right? But
So
aren't you the minus is that, aren't you taking away A? That's what I'm thinking. I
no.
see.
So okay. Let me explain this. The
Mm-hmm.
A is the good. Yeah, I mean you did good. You did well. A is the the baseline. The measurement I took, right, without intervention.
Mm-hmm.
Then I introduce intervention. Then I examine the student again. That will be what we call intervention stage. So B.
Okay, got it.
So when I remove the intervention again, then I will go back to the baseline.
Oh, so A would always be the baseline, right?
Yeah, A will
Right,
always
okay.
be the baseline.
Okay, I got it. Thank you. I got it.
Okay, then who can explain this one? AB. This is simple. AB.
Would it just kind of be like a zigzag approach where you have your baseline, then your intervention removal, baseline intervention removal?
Yes, absolutely. What about BAB?
With that
So
baseline, intervention, baseline?
no, B is intervention,
Oh,
right?
so B is intervention.
Yes. A is baseline, B is intervention, and then C is another intervention. So anywhere you see A is baseline, anywhere you see B is the intervention, right? And then if, for example, A is a baseline, intervention, and baseline again. You remove the intervention, you go to baseline.
So for the last one would be baseline.
Yes.
And then sorry,
intervention.
And the A is the baseline, you remove it, and then you're back to the intervention. Okay.
Yes. Is it clear now?
I get it. I was just confused. I thought the A was
no. Anywhere you see A is the baseline.
Okay, so
A is... see that. Let me go back. This one is meaning that's what they mean. When you see A is baseline, and when you see B is design phase, meaning the intervention. C is additional baseline. Okay? Do we get it?
Yes,
sorry,
sir.
additional intervention. So A, B means baseline and intervention, followed by intervention. So when we go here, baseline, intervention, then baseline. When you come the second line, baseline, intervention, baseline, intervention. When you come to the next, intervention, baseline, then intervention. Restatement of intervention. Is that clear? Yeah, I can see some people are testing. Let me see. Is it a question? Oh, okay. All right. So let's look at the last Yeah, the last one. The last one is baseline, intervention, baseline, and another intervention. That's a C. Is there anything confusing here?
So
What is the C?
Oh,
C is
Another.
an
C is
additional
another
phase.
intervention.
So another intervention.
Different intervention.
So different
Sean?
intervention. Okay.
Yeah. So let me explain this to you. Assuming the textbook, I went there, A is the baseline. I examine them, I know their score. Then I introduce an intervention, right? Then I examine them again. Then I have the intervention distance, which is B. Now I said, okay, let me remove that intervention. I will collect the textbook back. Is that okay? And say, okay, now let me introduce lunch. Are you clear with that? Let me introduce different interventions. Now, before I gave them textbook to see how the textbook will improve their performance. Then I collected the textbook back after assessing and knowing, oh, with the textbook, now they are improving, their grades are improving. I collected the textbook back and I introduced lunch to also see the effect of lunch on the performance of students. Is that okay? It seems a lot of people are having challenges. Any questions so far so that I can address it?
I think Shauna has a question.
Yeah, who is that? Shauna?
Yeah, I don't see how would you distinguish between the removal? There's no specific letter for removal or reinstatement of, I mean, maybe the
Okay.
reinstatement, but removal, there isn't one. I think that's confusing.
Okay. So when you see A, meaning the we have reverted back to the baseline, meaning the intervention is no more.
Oh, so it's not just like you going back to interview them to see how it's going. You've taken away once you go back to baseline?
Yes.
Okay, that's even more confusing.
So, okay, let me give you an example. Let me use the textbook. Do you understand? I gave the student textbook. I examined them to know their score. Let's say somebody scored 50%, and I want to follow this particular student. That is the baseline I have. Without any intervention, the student score 50%. Is that okay? Shauna, are you following?
No, because you did intervene. You gave them a textbook.
No. I'm starting the whole process.
Oh, with no
What
textbook.
I'm saying is that I went to a school. I want to know how textbook will improve students' performance. So before giving them the textbook, I want to know what is their original performance without textbook. Is that okay? So
Yeah.
I examined them. I conducted an exams, right? And let's say one student score 50%. I say, okay, I want to follow this particular student. Then, so the 50% is baseline. This is the original grade the student got without any intervention. Do you follow that?
Yep.
Good. So now I say, okay, let me give the student textbook. So I gave the student all the textbooks that they need. And then I ask the teacher to just continue teaching them. I'll come back in format to examine them again. So after the 4 months, I came back. So now I have the intervention. So after the 4 months, I came back, I examined them. And the student who got 40 now got, let's say, 80. 50 got 80%. What has happened to the student?
Well, it seems that they've improved.
They've improved. So I can assume that, because of the textbook, because of my intervention, that is why the student got the textbook. So I want to know that, what will happen if I remove the intervention? So I'll say, okay, now give me back all the textbook I've given you. So now
You're taking them back to their original
Yes,
state, which is the baseline.
exactly. So that's the
Okay, okay,
baseline.
okay.
So I mean, I think now it's clear, right?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So with the C, I said, okay, I'm now taking back the textbook. Okay, now I want to give you lunch. So the lunch will be the C. That is the different intervention. And also see if I take that, I mean, what do you call the textbook and I give the student lunch, will the student be able to perform? Because maybe some students go to school without lunch, and as a result, they can't concentrate and what. So I want to know the effect of lunch or effect of textbook and multiple, so I can be rotating, right, here and there. And always when I come back to baseline, that is where I have the A. Because when I take out or collected the intervention or remove the intervention, I will have to revert to the baseline again. Is that okay?
So
Are you good?
one more thing. So the
Good.
alternating baseline, is that because you have you go into it with the intention or know that you're going to give it, take it away, give it, take it away multiple times?
Yeah. So I want
Okay,
to know the effect of the textbook, right?
right.
So when I give it, I see the performance, I take it away. I will also later on see how would the student perform without the intervention. So if the student perform poor again, then I'll say, oh, okay, then it's the textbook. The reason why you do it back and forth because sometimes there are additional factors that might have caused the student to perform excellent. So we don't, I mean, you can't just assume that just because you gave them the textbook, so all the success or all the performance that or all the achievement the student got, I mean, comes from the textbook. So you have to alternate, right? And observe. Are we good?
That's the correlation doesn't equal causation, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. So sometimes we should be careful in assuming that, right? The moment we bring an intervention, whatever outcome or success that we see is as a result of the intervention. There are so many factors that might have occurred. Is that okay? Maybe it could be that the student's father hired a tutor for him or her or them, right? So that might have caused the improvement, not necessarily the textbook. So when I remove the textbook and then examine the student again, so then I'll be able to, okay, yeah, anytime I remove the textbook, the student perform bad or poorly. So then I can then assume that. Rochelle, Jessica, are we good? The rest, any question?
Ashley was
Okay.
asking about can we use different example of BAB? Like how can it start with B if you haven't started at a baseline?
Yeah, so sometimes you can just go and introduce intervention, right? Sometimes you can just introduce an intervention and assess the student and remove the intervention again and assess the student again. Is that okay?
No, I understand all the other examples, but I
Yeah.
think I'm getting confused because you're using the same example with where you're starting with a baseline and then you're using that example without a baseline. So I don't understand it clearly. Is there a way you can separate and use an entirely different example for a BAB?
Or like different example.
Yeah, just so I can understand how you're starting without a baseline. Like that's just where I don't understand because you keep talking about textbooks with a baseline, so I'm confused.
Oh, okay. All right. So I mean, there can be several examples. Even we can use even the burglary cases. Is that right?
Sure.
The burglary cases. So the burglary cases is that the first year data that we took can be the baseline, right? We will look at how the burglary case is going. So the trend is telling us that it's increasing. The burglary case is increasing, right? Do you get it? Who asked
Okay.
the question?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I can go and talk to the police chief. So I've observed. So I mean, you have the data already. So the baseline, I can see that burglary cases increasing gradually from January out to February. Can you introduce anything or something that can say, okay, let's introduce, I mean, neighborhood watchdog, right? So we introduce neighborhood watchdog. That will be the intervention. Is that all right? Then we also start taking the data from January up to December, right? To see what is the outcome of the intervention. Is it improving the cases or it is, I mean, the situation is getting worse? Do you understand? So that will be the B. Then I can tell the police chief, okay, now let's dissolve the neighborhood watchdog, right? When we dissolve it, we've gone back to the original baseline. Is that clear now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just an intervention. It's just you observe something happening, you introduce intervention, then you take data or measure again and see whether there's improvement or not, right? And then you can remove the intervention that you introduce to observe whether without the intervention, it will go back to the worst situation or it will improve, right? So that's basically what's it. Yes, Ronke?
Yeah, from my understanding now, the first intervention and the additional intervention is like kind of using it as for comparison to see which one is effective and which one is less effective. Am I correct?
If you use different intervention, yes.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
If you use different intervention, you want to know which one is effective
More
or
effective.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you too. Yes, Shauna?
So is the distinction there that when you're starting at the intervention, like the BAB, that you did not collect the initial data yourself for your research purposes, you just kind of like stumbled across it? So you're starting with an intervention and then baseline and then intervention? Did that make sense? Is that right?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, I just want to go off of that because that actually helped clear it up like significantly for me. So if you start with an A, you are the one collecting the data yourself for the intervention. And if you start with a B, then you have already like the data has already been acquired and you're just going straight in with the intervention. That's the difference here.
Not necessary.
Oh my God.
Listen carefully. Listen carefully. If I want to assess the effects of textbook on students, I can just go ahead without even examining them and give everybody textbook. Is that okay? And then that is the intervention. I'm starting right away without any assessment. Is that okay?
Okay, so
that
you're just going in blindly. So if you start with an A, you're going to articulate an intervention based on data. And if you're going on with a B, then you're just going in blindly and you're just like, let's see what happens. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Okay, that helps. Okay, so A equals collect data, B equals blind. Okay.
Blind.
Okay.
So the blind, where you go, you introduce the intervention. With 4 months, you go there, you examine them, right? So you now know their performance. Then you take back the intervention, you collect back the intervention and see what will happen. Is that okay? I don't know. All right, good. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so let's go quickly. Let me be mindful of time. It's now 8:40. Can we go back? Can we go for 10-minute break?
Yes, please.
Yeah, let's go for 10-minute break. When we come, we'll just finish in 20 minutes or 30 minutes. There is a trial exam that we will do. So come back at 8:50. Okay, good. Okay, let's come back quickly and wrap up. Are we back?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. So let's quickly wrap up quickly. So how do we use a single system research design in program evaluation? We use them for need assessment, right? If, for example, we want to determine the, for example, let's assume that Agoma University want to develop, let's say, a MSc program. And so we can conduct needs assessment to determine whether there will be people who are likely to attend or who are likely to enroll in the program, right? And so on and so forth. We can also use it for formative evaluation, as you mentioned, either to establish or to make an improvement to a newly established program. We can also use for quality assurance, as you are aware, and of course, for summative evaluation. We are going to go through each one of them briefly. Any question before I move on? Okay. I'm reading the chart, whether there's a question there. Okay, so let's look at needs assessment. I gave an example of one. So, for example, gather data over time, will collaborate or refute the need for a program. So, like the MSc program, you collect data over time and see whether people need or people want to enroll in the MSc program or whatever. Document the number of burglary in a given neighborhood over a 2-year period to determine the need for increased police presence. So, example of what we just did. Display data on graph for powerful visual portrayal. So, exactly what you did in the assignment or the exercise that I gave you, and use to demonstrate why intervention is needed. So, you want to prove that intervention is needed in certain areas. You conduct the need assessment, and then the results will determine whether, yeah, there's the need for an intervention or not. So, for example, in the case of burglary cases that we did, the first year will tell you the burglary cases keep on increasing. And then the second year, we introduced intervention, and then we saw that it started to decline. So that can help us to push for more intervention, right? Solicit for more interventions to help us address burglary cases in our neighborhood or whatever community that we may find ourselves. Then we can also use it for formative evaluation. As in the case of, in the textbook, you see what we call the point monitoring system. So this was done by, a group home, a study that was done in a group home in the US, where people, those in the group, they assign point to them for those who do, for example, help in the house chores and doing some stuff or performing some tasks. So, for example, when you perform a task, you are given a point. And then when you accumulate the points to certain period, you can use the point to claim, let's say, snack or something of choice. So they want, and then they decided to observe whether if they stop giving that point system, will the people continue to do the work or not? And then when they did it, they realized that when they stop giving points, right, that you can use to claim certain things like snacks and whatever, they realized that people, started not to, right? The total interest in performing tasks within the group neighborhood or group home decline sharply. They introduce it again, then it rises again. So that will tell you, okay, that intervention is relevant. So now you decide how you can perfect the case, that particular intervention. Then quality assurance. Oh, sorry. We can also use single system research design, for example, in quality assurance, in order to continuous stage utilization review. So, for example, you are providing intervention to people. You want to ensure that those people continue to use the services, and that can be done through improving the quality, right? When people access services and they realize it's not up to standard, of course, some of them may kind of drop out or will not take any interest in those interventions or, program again. So systematic audit of clinical records to justify the length of hospital stay and then ask patient treatment. So this was an example in the US that was done to assess how, for example, when you introduce more staff, can reduce the ease of the hospital staff and therefore cut down or reduce the amount of time people delay to have access to doctors and so on and so forth. Any question? Oh, okay. Question, comment? Not yet. Okay. Okay, let's go. All right. So summative evaluation provide empirical based appraisal of results or final outcome of an innovative program, right? A more robust type of single system research design is needed, and then B design, which is an example where you can introduce the B design straight away. No baseline data was gathered when the new program was implemented. So this is an example of where, for example, you can use the B design straightforward without any intervention. So basically, the summative evaluation will assess the outcome, right? So let's say I introduce a program, and my objective is that by, let's say, 6 months, I'm able to serve, let's say, 600 people or poor, or 600 people who have issue with food or food insecure within the community. And then at the end of the 6 months, I was able to achieve that. That is a result. But I have to do an appraisal. Did that improve the life of the people? Is that okay? As achieving the number of people I serve is different from whether it, improve the life of the people that receive those food. So here, I'm not looking only at the results. I'm looking at the quality. I'm looking at the health-wise. Is the food, healthy, right? You can receive any food, but is it a junk food? Is it a healthy food? So I'm going to appraise the results. Yes, I achieved my goal, but the quality of service and so on and so forth. Oh, okay. Yes, and Shona, this is your statement. Causal influence is not usually possible. It's not usually possible, but can answer the, not this one, can answer the question. Did the thing get better when the program was implemented? Is that all right? They received the food all right, but did they improve their life? Right? Did they have any improvement in their life than the program was, before? Or like, are they better off? To put it in simple, are they better off now compared to when the program was not there? At least it's helped you to understand that. But it doesn't help you to know whether the only food that you provide is as a result of why the people are better off. Is that okay? there could be other factors, right? But it helps you to understand that, yeah, did our program achieve its goal? Yes. I said I want to serve about 600 people. Yes, I achieved that goal. But did it improve the quality of life to those who receive? That is different appraisal I have to do. So summative evaluation help us to do that. Okay. So A-B design, data collected at baseline, and when new program implemented, help to eliminate, help to eliminate existing pre-treatment trend. So basically, what we mean is that when you have the baseline, right? When you have the baseline, it helps you to eliminate, right, pre-treatment trend. Is that okay? So if you don't have the baseline, then you don't know whether your intervention is the sole cause of the improvement that you see. Even how do you even determine improvement? Because if you don't have the baseline, you don't know, what was already there. So which are you going to use to measure? So the baseline help us to say, okay, yeah, they were scoring, let's say, 20%. I introduced lunch, right, in the school, and then the students are able to, feed, and then able to concentrate, and then their learning or their outcome or their results improve by, let's say, 20%. So the baseline is very important. It helps us to eliminate all doubt, right? But of course, we cannot also assume that the changes may be as a result of solely the intervention. Help us to exclude rival hypotheses that the evaluation impacted the outcome, okay? Still need to be cautious about causal interpretation. That's what Shona was mentioning, right? The causal interpretation is where you assume that your intervention is solely causing the changes, or is the result of the change. I mentioned that it could be as a result of so many factors. Your intervention may be one of those factors. So you don't assume that everything is dependent on your intervention. Good. Sonnet.
So did I heard you say that the baseline is always constant? I don't know if I heard you say that. So the baseline will always remain constant, and you're going to use intervention B or C to see how, or you're going to only add B or C to see how the baseline changes?
Yeah. So what I mean is that the baseline will give us a point where we can compare.
Yeah.
Is that right? So
yeah,
without
that's
the
perfect.
baseline, if I introduce intervention, I can't compare the outcome with any other thing, right? But with the baseline, I'll say, oh, okay, that was what was there before. And I introduced the intervention and there was improvement. You understand? Sonnet?
Yes, sir. Yes,
okay,
thanks.
Okay.
I couldn't find my,
okay. Yeah.
my mouse.
All right. Good. Summative experimental design. This permits reasonable degree of causal inferences. Well, when you do the experimental, meaning it's more of like the quantitative stuff, right? It's more like you are going to use control, you are going to assign group randomly, and so on and so forth. So it eliminates some doubt with regards to the causal, but also still, we cannot say for sure that every change is as a result of the intervention. Allow relative confidence that the program was responsible for any observed improvement. Threat to internal validity removed by demonstrating relationship between conducting or removal of the intervention and change in the outcome are more rigorous than simple A/B design. So when we talk about the experimental design, is more quantitative, and you are going to, because it has to do with the random assessment or random assignment of the participant or random assignment of individuals, you are going to get a result that has some generability or generalization, or be able to generalize. You can able to generalize your outcome and remove some doubts about the effect of your intervention in that sense. Okay, all right. So causal inferences require persistent concomitant variation between application of intervention and changes in a targeted behavior, changes observed after or not before intervention. So what I mean here is that if you want to be sure that is this intervention that brought about these changes or improvement, then you can't just do it only once, right? There should be some repeated intervention, right? You take the intervention, you repeat it again, and you observe the changes and be able to assign, for example, the improvement to the intervention. Okay, we're supposed to go for break here, but we went earlier on. That's good. So let's just recap. I'm just recapping what we did for the summative experimental design. One, ABA is the simplest form of single system research design. That's the simplest one. Two, baseline followed by intervention, which is removed with the data collected before and after the removal. If consecutive meaningful changes in an outcome measure can be produced, likely that the program is responsible for the change. Basically, what I mean is that if you introduce an intervention, you take it away, and then you observe, you introduce again. So when you do it continuous, and then the same, anytime you introduce intervention, you see improvement, then you can likely, link the intervention to the improvement that you observe. Multiple baseline design uses, staged baseline for different groups receiving an intervention. This is just an information. So may permit causal inferences. So we have A1, B1, A2, B2. It's simple as what we did. So A1 basically is the first assessment that you take. B2 is the second, B1 is the first intervention. A2 is the second assessment, and B2 is the second intervention, as we know. So for program evaluation purposes, an experimental single system research design can be considered a research design that permits reasonable degree of causal inferences, right? So if you want to ensure causal inferences, then it is better to do the experimental design, right? That will give you more credible, information. Hence, the AB design permits an evaluation of change. Did it improve, but not causal inference? So basically, the AB design will tell you, has there been any improvement? Yes, right? The score changed from 50 to 80. Yes, that's an improvement. But is it because of the textbook? Then you need more rigorous one, such as the experimental design. Any question, comment? Let me pause here. Dana? Any question? Shauna, do you have a question?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. Michelle, Nicole? Okay. So we have what we call the external validity, meaning how credible is your study. So single system research design has the ability to generalize beyond particular participant, right? So there's the ability to generalize your observation beyond the participant that you observe is limited. So it means the internal validity there is low. Research in human services and program evaluation hardly ever uses random sampling from a large population due to practical limitations. So that's some of the limitation with a single system research design. There is also a problem of external validity can be overcome with what? Replication. So when you want to address, for example, the issue of external validity, what you have to do is to repeat alternating the intervention, at baseline intervention for, some time, to be sure of your results. There are some ethical issues we should also, consider when we are conducting, for example, single system research design. One, client confidentiality must be upheld, must be taken into account, as well as the right to informed consent. So clients should be able to consent into participation in any experimental design or whatever this thing that you want to use. Evaluations of one's practice is a gray area. So for example, evaluating your own agency, there are some ethical issues around that, because ideally you need an external individual to conduct that for you. Both CASWI and then US, Group of Social Workers Code of Ethics state informed consent should be obtained when appropriate. So anytime you are doing anything about evaluation, it is required that you get an informed consent. Legal definition of social work in some states, including conducting evaluation. So using single system research that could simply be considered as a good practice, as we know, may not fall under the definition of research. And the reason being that there's no intention of publication when you conduct single system research design. We also have what we call the inferential statistics. So for example, what we did in terms of mode, mean, median, and percentages, proportion, and all that. These are what we call the inferential statistics, right? And let's look at their role here. Inferential statistics allow researchers to make inferences based on the data set. Is that okay? So with the mean, median, percentages, you'll be able to make like a precise decision, or you can state a precise objective. I want to achieve accessibility of, I want to improve food security by 10% or 20%, because the inferential statistics will give you a data point that you can use for comparison and all that. Researchers sometimes use inferential statistics to statistical tests to make inferences from single system research design. Then inferential statistics make prediction or generalization, and it is used to estimate parameters or hypotheses, right? Any question with regards to that? So basically, I'm discussing inferential statistics. What I'm talking about: mean, median, mode, percentages. I hope you know mean. What is a mean? Mean is what? Hey, nobody knows mean.
I think it's the average. I could be
Average,
wrong.
yeah. Mean is average. What is mode?
It's the most frequently used.
Absolutely. A number with the frequent What is median?
The middle.
Middle. And then what is proportion? Percentages, right? 10%, 50%, and all that. So these are what we call the inferential statistics, right? And we use them to, make our work more, clear, as well as also you can use them for precision, right? You were able to say, oh, there was 10% improvement, 15%, and so on and so forth. So take note of that. Limitations of using inferential statistics. One, using inferential statistics deters those without specialized statistical knowledge from attempting evaluation studies using single system research design. Example, I do always have a complaint that most of you you don't like mathematics. So I normally receive comment, hey, when you are bringing questions, don't bring anything calculations, right? So when you are using inferential statistics, the difficulty is that those who are not comfortable using statistics may not want to even venture to do any single system research design at all, right? And so these are the limitations. And mostly, see, researchers sometimes are trained to either be qualitative or quantitative. Is that all right? Qualitative or quantitative. I am one that I've been trained both quantitative because I was using quantitative before I started using qualitative. So I'm a bit of both. Although this time around, I do more of qualitative than quantitative research, right? So I'm a bit rusty, but doesn't mean that I don't have background in quantitative. I do have a lot of background there. And mostly, because researchers are trained qualitative and quantitative, when you are emphasizing on inferential statistics, those who are not quantitative background will not likely try and use or conduct single system design. Another single system research design also uses few data points, which have low sensibility or to determine differences, right? When you are using quantitative, you should have a lot of data point, but single system research design doesn't have that much. And so using it in inferential statistics can pose a challenge. The single system research design also, by their very nature, contradict most crucial assumptions of parameters tests, the independent of data, and then this could result in type 1 error. What is type 1 error? Claiming that differences exist when it does not is type 1 error. Claiming that differences exist when it does not exist is type 1 error. And then the opposite is type 2, ignoring differences when they exist. Is that okay? That's type 1 and then type 2 error are likely to. Okay. So this is an example of a study that was done. For those of you who don't know the trend, this is the trend I'm talking about, right? So this is an example of smoking, right? So this individual, we track the individual's smoking per day. So you realize that when you look at, let me move this up. Okay, this one, come here. Okay. When you look at, these are the days, the bottom number of days. So and then we decided to take data on how many cigarette that the individual takes a day. And we realized that from day 1, 9, day 2, the person took, let's say 8, day 3, 8, day 4, went back to 9, day 5, 10, then day 6, came back to what? 7. Then it went back to 10 again. So it was kind of fluctuating, right? Then we introduced intervention, day 10 and 11. So the intervention could be nicotine patches or any intervention. Then you realize that there is sharp drop in the quantity of cigarette the individual takes. So this one is the baseline, the information that we know. right? Without intervention, this is how this person smokes. Now, we introduce intervention, and all of a sudden, at a point, day 18, the person took 0 cigarettes. Are you following the graph? Right. Huh? So, I mean, you see the person started reducing the intake of cigarettes until day 18, the person took 0. Then 19, the person started again, went to 1, 2, and going up. So it means that the baseline, right? What we know without any intervention, the records is what you call the baseline. Then you introduce intervention, then you take the intervention data. So basically here, you can remove the intervention again and try to observe whether the person will go back to the original, quantity of cigarettes that he or she takes. Is that okay? Is that okay? Okay. Another point is, by maybe removing intervention B, the person will go up taking cigarette again, but it will not be the same level as the original one. So in that case, we have new baseline. Right? Do you follow me? Yeah. So in that case, we have a new baseline that we can work with and trying to see how we can work with this individual through either counseling. So it means that, okay, one intervention is working. How about adding another different intervention? Counseling, exercise, and whatever, and see whether the person can stop smoking altogether. Is that okay? All right. So this brings us to the end of the class today. Do you want to try this? Yes. Tamika?
Sorry, I was just gonna ask, with the smoking example, so would
Yes.
that be like the very first baseline and intervention, would that be like A1 and then B1, and then if you did it again, would it
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you very much for reminding me. Yes. So if, for example, this A1, B1, right? If we remove this intervention and realize that the person has increased the smoking, but it's not at the same level as before. So that will become A2. You get it?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, it becomes A2. Then you introduce intervention again and you get B2. So yes, absolutely. Any other question? Yes, Shauna?
If you introduced 2 interventions the next time, would it be BC?
If you introduce 2 interventions.
Yeah,
at
would
the same
that be
time.
classified as one intervention if it's like a whole new intervention? Or would it, so say
No,
you use
that
nicotine patches the first time, you took it
yes.
away, so then it's back to A2 now because it's a different outcome. And then you
Yes.
introduce, say, nicotine patches and gum. Would it be B and C, or would it? How would that
B and C. Yes, B and C.
together,
Because
or would that just?
you can introduce the B and C together. Yes.
Okay.
Right. To observe whether they will prove more effective, because sometimes one intervention is not enough. You have to add another, right? So yes, absolutely. Good. Now you are getting it. I know something that is related to mathematics is sometimes, interesting, but it's a mindset, right? It's a mindset sometimes. Okay, let's give it a try. This one. Read this yourself. Try and answer it based on what we did. And then when you finish, one person will read and then we get the answers. I'll get the answers for you as your preparation. Or you do it, I just put the answers, then you grade yourself. I want us to finish before. For those of you who are planning to do your masters and whatever, I mean, this time around, you will see that, this person is teaching us too much. But when you start doing your master, that's where you thank me for that. Because you realize that most of the things you've done it already. So, I mean, getting it is easy for you, right? I know students will curse you today and they will bless you tomorrow. So, we are happy you taught us. When we went, we didn't find it, difficult at all. So, but I always insist on doing the right thing. So, that's by the way. I can just give you a few slides and go and sleep. And then, that's what students will like. You will just give them everybody 90. Right? But no, I will just make sure you do the right thing so that it will be pass and parcel with you forever. Are you done?
Yes.
Okay. So who can read, who can read question 1?
I read.
Oh, quick, volunteer, quick.
Though they can be applied across settings, single system research designs are primarily employed to study which of the following?
Okay. Your answer?
My answer will be A.
No, not you. I'm just anybody who want to answer. Sonette, you want to answer or you want to read?
I want to read, but I think for this one,
you read question 2.
Okay, but I could answer. I don't know.
Yes.
I'm gonna try. I find the answer is either C or D. I don't know which one to choose. But I chose D.
The answer is D.
D. I chose D. Yes.
Yeah, it's correct. This is correct. Yeah, group. That's Sonette, read question 2, quick.
Okay. One of the requirements of single system research designs is that the results are presented in narrative format, including an executive summary, B, be disseminated to practitioners in similar program, C, displayed in graph form to see the measures over time, and D, not be distributed due to clients' confidentiality.
Okay, which one is the answer?
You carry the vote.
I can see C.
Yes, C. Yes. Oh, are you testing the answer? Let me check. Are you people testing? I don't see any testing though. Oh, okay.
Okay. Let me see.
Yeah, I see. Yes, good, correct.
I did one. So
you did one. Let somebody else did this. Let somebody read the third question. Yes, who? Who is reading the second?
Amoy.
The third, yes, Amoy, yeah.
An experimental single subject research design is useful because it allows the researcher to claim what? A legitimate study suitable for publication, that the treatment perhaps responsible for observed change, that this was really a summative evaluation, none of the above, all of the above. B.
Which one?
B.
Okay, yes, you are correct. You are correct. Oh, so you people pay attention. Wow.
Why won't we?
That's amazing.
We should.
Okay, good. All right. Question number 4. Who will read for us? Jessica. Jessica will read.
Okay. For when more than one group is observed in a single system research design, SSRD, this is known as what? A, multiple baseline design, B, quality assurance monitoring, C, experimental design, D, more than one group is not allowed in SSRD.
Okay, which is the answer?
I think it's A.
Hey, wow. Amazing. Oh, you people pay
Timothy
attention.
for everyone. Courtesy of you.
Yeah. Okay, good. Question number 5. Who will read for us?
I'll go.
Go ahead. Good.
Single system designs can be used as part of the formative evaluations to help enhance programs. True or false?
Okay, good. Let me see. Oh, people are typing answer. Good.
True.
Let me see.
It's
More answers. You are 40. I can see only 3 more. Okay. Yes, it's true. It's A. Last but not the least.
I read. To be used
Go
in
ahead.
single system research outcomes, measures must be reliable, valid, and sensitive to change, be included in the logic model, C, included in the mission statement, D, measured quantitatively, E, none of the above. I think sensitive to change.
Absolutely. So you see how questions can come. Did you prepare before coming? Did you read carefully? Because I'm surprised that you got all the answers easy like that. All right. Thank you all for coming, and I think we'll end the class now. Hope to see you next week.
Thank you, Prof.
Thank you.
Thank
Some
you.
commentaries I'm
Professor. Have a good night,
Good night,
everyone.
everyone. Stay safe and stay
Thank
warm.
you.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Good
Good
night.
night. Good night. So I will post or upload the revised slides with the questions for you, right? So that you can use them for preparation of exams and all that. All right. Good night.
Bye.
Okay. Let me stop recording.